This is firm. This is
Okay, and today we're just going to go over how to actually inflate a rear shock. That there's actually a way to do it, and you may or may not have been doing it right. So right now we have 0 pounds of pressure in here, and we want to inflate it up to 222. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the chuck here. I have a big pump, so it makes things a little faster. And I'm just going to start by inflating this up to 100 psi. You know, it makes it so it's not so hard for me to break away because there's no air on the actual negative side yet. So it's actually reading about 110 right now. I'm going to go ahead and cycle it, and you can hear it kind of going into the other side there. And now it went from 110 to 99 psi. So I'm going to inflate it a little more, up to about 150. And it's reading, well, more like 160. And I'm going to go ahead and cycle it again. And I'm just getting it to where I can hear the ports and the air exchange between the negative and positive chambers. And so it went from 160 all the way down to 149. I'm going to go ahead and inflate it up to 200. It'll probably be 210 just because that's where it's going to end up. And yep, 210. And I'm more like 208. I'm going to go ahead and cycle it. So the reason I keep on cycling every few pounds too is I don't really have enough weight to force against this if I get too carried away. So we've lost another 10 pounds. It's at 198. So now I'm just going to get to our final pressure for the user, which is 220 psi. So I'm just going to go a little above it. So it's about 225 right now. Cycle it. And now it's reading out at 220. So the 220, 221, this is that actual pressure in here is 220 in the positive chamber, 220 in the negative chamber, and we have not disconnected the chuck. So once we disconnect the chuck and we reconnect a pump up to it again, it's not going to have an accurate reading because now we have just put air into the hose. So it would probably read something more like 195 psi if I were to hook just a regular little shock pump up to it. But right now, as I know, there's 220 psi in here inflated in the negative and positive side. And that is how you inflate a rear shock on a mountain bike.